Hello and welcome back to the Old Gold and Black. I'm Tom Rouse. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to check me out on Twitter at the Old Gold 1877. And if this is your first time watching a video on this channel, then why not subscribe and have a look at the other videos, and don't forget to put the bell on. Otherwise, you'll miss the notifications. So today I'm talking about the FA Cup. The draw has just been made for the fourth round of the FA Cup, and Wolves will be away to either Watford or Tranmere should they beat Manchester United in the replay. And that's the premise of this video today's FA Cup replays, and as well the ticket prices, which I'll just read to you now because some of you may not have heard this already, but it's absolutely ridiculous, the cost for the replay up at Old Trafford. Because the only positive that I thought coming out of the ground was that at least lots of Wolves fans will now have the opportunity to go to Old Trafford and watch a game of football. I've been a couple of times to Old Trafford. I'm not going to go to the replay because of it being in the week and difficult to get to as a teacher. It's a very historic ground to go to. It's a great ground to go to. It's a huge ground to go to. So there are lots of children or lots of younger people who perhaps have the opportunity to go to that replay. But the prices are insane. Bear in mind, Wolves adult prices were about £30 tops for the game on Saturday, but this game is crazy. So season ticket holders for Wolves, adults are between £37 and £47. Now I don't know how it can vary so much because the away section at Old Trafford is in that corner. Whether it's going to be up the top of that stand to the right that we usually sit in, I don't know. Under 21s are between £27.75 and £35.25. Concessions £18.50 and £20, a little bit more reasonable. Under 16s £13. That's for season ticket holders. If you're a member, an adult is between £40 and £50. If you're a non-member, it's £45 to £55. That is just crazy ticket prices. Now, it's not Wolves that have set that, it's Manchester United. Now, Wolves could put themselves in a very strong position by either offering free travel like they did for the Swansea replay 2 years ago, or by subsidising the tickets somehow to try and encourage some Wolves fans to go. We've also got a very small allocation of only 3,000. Now, I think that's down to Manchester Police having some sort of say over that, because in recent weeks there's been complaints about the allocations for the two League Cup semi-finals going on in Manchester this week and next week between City and United. Usually for a cup game you'd get about 20% allocation of the ground, which would be upwards of 8,000 or 9,000 of Old Trafford. But with that price and then with that allocation, there's not going to be many Wolves fans, I don't think, who will take up that offer unless Wolves are to do something which would enhance their PR. And also, so it's up to Wolves if they want to do that, but I wouldn't blame if they didn't.
What did you watch on telly last night?
I didn't watch telly, I watched a video.
I watched that peak practice.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Bloody repeat.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Not for me, I hadn't seen it.
I put on Twitter earlier on my suggestions for a couple of solutions to the FA Cup replay scenario, and they are as follows. If two Premier League teams or two teams from the same division get drawn against each other, it should go straight to penalties, because there's no financial gain really for the two teams to have another game. Whereas if you were to have a lower league team drawn against any Premier League team, it should automatically be a replay if there's a draw. If a lower league team gets drawn at home, then it should be a replay, because you get the extra revenue of going to a bigger ground. Or if a lower league team gets drawn away from home, then it should be extra time and penalties. Now, a couple of people got back to me on this and agreed that something needs to be done about replays. Bob Lawton, who you may know from the little cartoons and stuff, love his work on Twitter. He came back and said you can't have two different rules within the same competition. But I argued then that it would only really be rounds 3 and 4 that are affected, because round 5 already, they decided a couple of years ago, would go straight to extra time and penalties. On the day, there'd be no replays. Same for the 6th round, semi-final, final, obviously. He said that the only change that he would suggest is to not have the 3rd round so close to the festive fixtures that we have in England, because that's the reason why teams are rotating so much, because of the congested fixtures over Christmas, that then Premier League teams or top division teams see it as a way to rest some of the players. I think it's something that needs to be looked into and needs to be changed because of a number of factors. First of all, the players having to play an extra game. Not that I'm considerate of Manchester United, but they only had next week, in terms of midweek fixtures, free in January because of Europa League and Premier League and League Cup commitments. So they have now had that filled up. But the way that they played on Saturday seemed as if they were playing for a replay. So that's a crazy situation. Wolves have already played 38 games this season, so that will make it an extra game that we don't really need. And then there's the logistical side of it. You've got Wolves are a big team, and they've got Manchester United even bigger, and they've got people who support the team from all over the country and would have to arrange, hotels, train tickets, flights even to get to the next round of fixtures. And so now we could be travelling to either North London or to the Wirral in the next game, or we might not be going at all. We might not have a fixture that weekend if we lose in the replay. So there's a lot of things that I think need to change about it, and I don't know. So let me know your suggestions in the comments down below. What would you do to fix FA Cup replays? How would you do it? Let me know what you think of my suggestions, and please drop your own in the comments as well. Anyway, that's enough from me today. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to get back onto the sort of YouTube vibe. If there's something that really gets my goat, then I'll pop it on here. But anyway, see ya.
Buzzing down the chip shop, by now you must have heard the Wolves I'm going to Wembley, buzzing either word.